Okay. Can you see my screen? Yes. All right. These last days we have been talking about turning 30s, adult life, and how we deal with many stuffs in our lives. Today we are going to talk a specific subject related to that, which is the decline of fertility rate. We have previously started to talk about this, but we didn't dug really into it. So today is the day to talk about the decline of fertility rate in Brazil. First, we need to know what is fertility rate. So let's see here this text. Fertility rate is how many children a woman usually has. So let's say it's the average is usually 2 per woman or 3 and so on. When education rises, fertility falls. Over the past 6 decades, Brazil has undergone a profound demographic transformation. According to the latest data from the 2022 demographic census by IBGE, the average number of children per woman has dropped dramatically from 6.28 in 1960 to 1.50 in 2022. This sharp decline in fertility rates reflects major shifts in education, access to healthcare, women's participation in the labor market, and broader social changes. As education level rises, especially among women, the decision to have fewer children and postpone motherhood becomes increasingly common, reshaping the structure and future of Brazilian society. Okay, so Beatriz, let's start talking about your family. How many children did your grandmother or your grandparents had?
Oh my God, there are so many children that I didn't know actually, but I have a lot of aunts
And uncles?
and
Mm-hmm.
uncles. So, okay, some of them just passed away uh, before I born. So I really don't know the quantity actually, but
Mm-hmm.
are a lot.
A lot. Okay. My case, for example, the family of my father, my grandmother had 12, 12 children, so there were a lot. Then my mother had me and 2 sisters, so it was 3 in total. And my sister, this generation next is just 2. So it's kind of getting fewer and fewer. Maria, do you see this reflect in your family too? This reflection.
Yeah, yes.
How many children did your grandfather or grandmother had?
Um, 7, part of my dad,
Okay,
and 5 for part of my mom.
okay, from the side of my mom. All right. And in your family, your father and your mom had 2, you and your sister?
Yeah, but my mom ha had another one. I have
with
two sisters.
okay, with other father?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So as we can see here in this chart, this graphic, 1960, the average per woman was 6.28. And now I mean, not now, but in 2022, it was just 1.5. Maria, why do you think this decrease, this decline is happening? What are the major reasons that you can attribute?
Um, I think many things, but education, the women um, intend to study more, have a career, and after 30, uh, so it's happening.
Yes, education is one of the reasons. Women are trying to go in the marketplace, to study, to have post-graduation. Money is also a thing, right? I didn't before our grandparents they didn't have money,
Mm-hmm.
but but they didn't worry about this so much. And now I think this generation they are so much more preoccupied than the generations before. Because we have education to the children, we have sometimes healthcare, milk, food, and so on. Okay, I have some questions here. Beatriz, in many countries the population is shrinking, is decreasing because of these low birth rates. And my question to you is, should the government encourage people to have more children or give some financial support? What can we do to prevent this situation or to have more people in the country?
Oh, this is a hard question, teacher, because it's so complicated. It's kind of utopic, think of in this way here in Brazil, but I think the idea was implement more education, like do more life perspective in here, because everybody's so it's so difficult living here with all the poorness and with the prices and cost of life really expensive and the hard situation. So has the first pass is establish the situation here so people want to have his children at this country because it's really hard.
That's right. Hello, Luis. We are talking about education versus fertility. We have previously uh, started this topic, but now I am really digging into this conversation. And I'm saying that there are many countries, especially Brazil, that fewer and fewer moms are having fewer and fewer children. So the fertility rate here in Brazil is dropping, and each more increasingly the women are having children later in life. And we are discussing about what are the reasons this is happening. And as you arrived now, I'm going to transfer BS questions to you. In this case, Luis, what do you think the government should do?
Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm not expecting this. So, I don't know. I think that a lot of things that the government have to do in first of all
Mm-hmm.
firstly, I think that we should have um the tô tentando ver como eu traduziria essa expressão.
Okay.
Paternity, sei lá, é licença maternidade, mas é licença paternidade, no caso. Acho que é
Ok.
muito
Nesse
preciso.
caso, a gente diz paternity leave.
Paternity
Leave, de sair.
leave. Paternity leave, I think that should be the first thing that we already have, that we. Acho que eu falei certo. And just and we need to think more about this.
Uhum,
I'm not I don't live this reality. I
uhum,
never never live this. So I don't know. I just can say my opinion about the things that I see around me
uhum,
and the experience uh, the experience of my mother, of my sister, for example.
uhum.
And I think the government have to be more um, have to be more
Financially responsible.
not this more. It's not aggressive. It's para fiscalizar, no caso, the actions of the men, of the fathers, uh, because we have very um, a very governo, a government
Uhum,
that is very that not punish the men like they really do. And when I'm saying the men, I'm saying the fathers or the progenitors. Aqui eu tô chutando.
uhum,
Because in my experience, my father decided to smoke a cigarette and just leave. So
aham,
when I'm 5 years old, and sometimes he show up, and sometimes he just hide up, he just leave, and it's not a sad story, okay?
ok.
We don't have to cry. It's okay, but I think it was sad for my mother in
Uhum,
that time. It was tough for her, and it's been kind of tough for my sister too. However, cunhado,
brother-in-law.
my brother-in-law, is less uh, is more
Responsible.
is more responsible than my father, but not uh, responsible enough. Nossa, hoje eu tô assim, desculpa, minha cabeça tá um caos.
All right, we are going to cover, and we will cover a little more about your father leaving your family at 5. Okay, but now, yes, this is the situation. Brazil is having less children, and not only Brazil, other countries is having less children too. And to let you know, to maintain the population, each woman has to have 2.1. The fertility rate is 2.1. So in general, 2 children per woman. And we are going to see now in a video that many countries are not getting to this number. And why is that, and so on. So let me play here for you.
For years, two things have been true.
Okay, another thing I would like to tell you is this English here is British, so it sounded a little bit more difficult, but that's the intention. So to get the most of English, the international English too. So we have some hard time listening to it, but you will be fine.
The world's population is increasing and its birth rate is falling. South Korea already had the world's lowest birth rate, but this week new data showed it had fallen further. Japan also recorded a new low.
The decline of births is in a state of crisis. I believe we are at a time when we have to take urgent measures.
The birth rate is the average number of children that each woman has, and when birth rates are discussed, you'll see this number a lot, 2.1. This is the birth rate needed to maintain population levels. South Korea's not close. Last year, its rate was 0.72. Japan is at 1.26. To put this in context, the EU average is 1.53, and the UK is at 1.49, and that is a record low. In fact, many countries are now below 2.1.
Even countries with relatively high birth rates are often at half the birth rate of what they were. And the average person now lives in a country in the world that has a lower than replacement fertility rate.
And birth rates matter because they contribute to long-term changes in our populations and the consequences that follow. Low birth rates can cause populations to fall. Japan's is expected to decrease by 30% by 2070, South Korea's to halve by the end of the century. In some countries, including the UK, the situation is different. Populations are projected to increase, mainly because of immigration. But immigration can't counter all the impacts of a low birth rate.
There is no quick fix. There is no one fix to population decline or population aging. So birth rates affect population growth in the long run, whereas immigration can affect in the short run. But immigrants also age.
And as people live longer, combined with low birth rates, elderly people will make up a greater proportion of the population, as we've seen in Japan.
It's no surprise that Japan, which has had this very, very long, very low fertility rate and the oldest population in the world, has got the worst government finances in the developed world, because the government is indeed spending more and more on healthcare and pensions and has fewer and fewer taxpayers.
If that's Japan, in the UK, a shift in the makeup of the population is coming. By 2070, the number of workers is projected to rise by 1 million. The number of pensioners will rise by 5 million. This will inevitably create pressures. The Economist argues that for countries with low birth rates, the implications are higher taxes, later retirements, lower real returns for savers, and possibly government budget crises. We'll see. But there's no doubt some governments are increasingly preoccupied with low birth rates and what's causing them. In South Korea, there are many reasons, including the cost of education and expectations of women in the workplace, childcare is a consideration too, just as it is in the UK. According to a recent international study, the UK has some of the highest childcare costs in the world. There's also a shortage of places. And around the world, the availability of childcare impacts women's decisions.
Research really shows that if you have affordable, high quality early childhood education, good daycare for everybody, that is associated with higher birth rates.
This helps explain what's happening, but by the admission of those who study birth rates, fully explaining what's happening is hard. And it makes responding to low birth rates hard too.
It's difficult for policymakers to address the complexity of the cultural reasons why we are not having as many children. What really they have in their arsenal is only economic tools, and it goes well beyond that.
It's difficult for policymakers, but some are acting. In South Korea, they tried cash incentives and subsidized healthcare. As we've seen, that didn't work. In France, in January, President Macron talked of demographic rearmament and announced a plan that includes changes to parental leave. Or in Italy, which has one of the lowest birth rates in Europe, Prime Minister Meloni has announced a range of initiatives. But evidence suggests it's very difficult to reverse a falling birth rate. And while some countries try, the global population continues to go up. And the UN highlights two factors to explain this: the gradual increase in human lifespan and high and persistent levels of fertility in some countries. There are those to whom this global population growth is the real issue, in particular for our climate, and who believe low birth rates are welcome. But as we've seen, already many countries have low birth rates and some want to increase theirs. Population growth and low birth rates are both demanding attention.
A lot of people are surprised to see that the global population numbers are still growing, the total number of people on the planet, at the same time that we keep talking about birth rates declining. And I like to think of it as what's on the surface versus what's beneath the surface.
And beneath the surface, those declining birth rates will cause major shifts in the nature of our populations, shifts that may lead the global population to start falling in the next century, shifts that, for better or worse, will have consequences for how our societies function.
All right. Before we talk about it, there's some specific accents I would like to mention here, because we usually say fall, quando tá caindo, the fertility rate is falling, and this guy is saying full. It's like so close, so full, and fertility rate full. So sometimes gets you guys a little confused, but he's saying it's falling. All right, let's talk about this video first. Beatriz, what did you understand from this video?
Teacher, for being honest, I had a problem with the autoescola at this video, so I didn't pay actually really attention just to the final. So I just get a little things. I don't know if it's right, but aging of population, I heard a little bit for economic challenges, and maybe I'm getting crazy, but I heard about migration. I don't know. So sorry for can answer this question how I want to be, but this problem is already solved. So for now, I'm gonna be 100% in this class.
Thank you. No problem. Maria, tell me, what did you understand about this video?
I understood a little bit, but I think it's economic, as Japan has a decrease of the natality. So it's a problem, and government changed this because the old people have more pension, so it's more, como é que se diz? Gasto for government. So I think that's it.
I think that's right. I mean, not only Japan, but also in Korea,
Yeah.
in other countries. There is a low birth rate, and the population is also aging. So, which means like in INSS here in Brazil, the population is aging, is getting old. There is fewer and fewer children uh, being born, and so we will have some kind of crush in the INSS, and many reforms will have to take place and will have to happen. So it's going to be a huge
Uh,
problem for us because now, for example, we are the working age. Me, you, Luis, Beatriz, we are, even though we study yet, but we work, we pay taxes, and these taxes goes to the government, and part of these taxes, the government leaves to the people who are retired, aposentado. But in the future, this working age is going to be fewer and lower, and the people who are aged, who are retired, is going to be even more. So we have some kind of problem here, not only in Brazil, but as you saw in the video, in many countries. I think Brazil had a cash incentive for people, for parents who had children. I'm not sure about this, if it is working yet, but have you heard about, okay, if you have it was common in the rural area in Salobro, for example, if you have a child, you will receive like 1,000 reais from the government. Have you heard about this, Luis?
I've heard about this week in the class of in my course.
Okay.
There's a student. She's talking about this. She said that they are paying like 2,000 reais, something like this, and I don't know about this
Okay,
until she told me.
all right. Yes. There is um auxílio natalidade, but especially for people who are in a low income, então geralmente é baixa renda, Bolsa Família, but I'm trying to find here in the internet what is the value uh, that the government is paying. Let me just search. Mm, no, I'm not finding so easily here. But I remember when I was younger, people in Brazil, or in Salobro, they usually he received a very nice cash, like 1,000 reais or more than 1,000, to have this, to as an incentive to have this baby. But it was almost, it was of course criticized too, because people usually say, oh, you're just having children because you want the government money and the Bolsa Familia, etc., etc. So it's another thing we'll talk about. Claire, have you heard about this money that people sometimes can receive?
Yeah, I think is maternity salary. like
Ok,
1,000.
salário de maternidade existe, ok, mas geralmente isso aí a gente já conhece. Mas seria tipo um dinheiro que você tem só pelo dinheiro que o seu filho nasceu mesmo. Tipo, você nasceu, tome.
No.
But I will have a search on. Um, in the video, the guy I want to bring you some vocabulary here. The guy mentioned about daycare. Daycare. Daycare, it's like creche in Brazil. Okay, so it is important that the children have some financially governmental from the care and so on. Let's imagine that the government will help, we here in the class will help us to have a child. Let's imagine that. Luis, in your case, what do you think would be a good idea if the government helped us to have a child?
Can you repeat just the final sentence?
Uh-huh. What ideas would be of great value the government could bring to society to help us have more children?
I never think about this because my opinion, and I don't have I don't read much about this. I was thinking that not this context, because the context that we are in, it's not the best, but the fact that people are not having a lot of sons. I thought that it was a good thing, and now I'm thinking about this. So I don't know. Eu vou falar em português agora para eu tentar ser mais rápido,
Ok.
mas só para ser direto ao ponto. Porque eu li há pouco tempo isso, né? Achei engraçado a gente estar discutindo sobre essa questão. Que eu li há pouco tempo que isso era um ponto, uma coisa muito ruim. E na minha cabeça isso era a melhor coisa que poderia estar acontecendo. O fato da gente não se reproduzir tanto, porque o ser humano, né, é uma
Aham,
praga
aham.
no planeta. Então, sou.
Isso. But in fact,
I
it is
don't
a
I
good
don't know
thing.
what think. I don't know, and I don't want to think about how
Okay.
can how we can reproduce more. I don't know.
Okay.
I think that is reproduce.
Yes, I
Uh,
mean, in my opinion, in fact, it is also a good thing, especially when we talk about the environment and the planet. People are being more aware, having more awareness about education, about not having so many children. So the system can be more sustainable. It is a good thing too, but it's also something that we should worry for the future. Okay, so we need to balance the things. It's a good thing for the planet, but for society maybe or the economy is not so good. Maria, in your opinion, what ideas could the government bring to help you, in your case, have a child, for example?
I don't know. I have a good salary. Um, opportunities for care about my children's, have a daycare, for example. I think this.
To have a daycare. I think the best thing we could do is to be established, right? To have a
Yeah.
nice job, to have a career established too, so we can think about other
Yeah.
things.
Because nowadays is more difficult raising a children.
Yeah.
So
It is so much more difficult.
healthy hospital medications, for example. So depends a lot of
That,
things.
that's right. I mean, when I think about personal cases here, me as a homosexual person, in the government in Brazil, it's so complicated for gay men to have biological children because we need to have this in vitro fertilization. But for this case, it's still more complicated because this in vitro fertilization has to be in a woman of our family, for example. So you can still do for in a friend or something like that, but it's more bureaucratic because in general da barriga de a solidária, não é mais, a gente não diz mais barriga de aluguel, barriga solitária.
I remember.
Remember,
What do you ask me?
my solitary belly. Yes.
How many you intend pay me?
Okay, we will discuss about this later. Yeah, but in Brazil we have this situation and it has to be at least cousins, sisters, or something like that. We have adoption too, okay, but adoption in this topic here in this class doesn't count as a more one children more. So it's just one that was already there and you adopted. Great. Let's continue here the questions. Oh, Luis, you mentioned about your parent, your father leaving your mother at 5. But you said that sometimes he appears, he shows up. Questions, very personal. He still lives in Custódio?
No, he lives here just when I was 5. Then when they split, he goes to another city, and then goes to another city, and then goes to another city. And now he is living in the rural zone,
Rural area.
rural area of Jatobá. Jatobá City, chama assim. And I'm not I not have I haven't actually I haven't news about him, but sometimes my sister talk to him, and I don't know what they talk, but I try to be more close with him, but he he never I bring the problem to the table. Acho que essa é a expressão brasileira, né? Mas I bring the problem that he just leave us. He just left us, and he just blame my mother, and I think that is it's the limit for me, and I just think, okay, you live in your own, and I'm going living in my own, and that's okay. And thinking about the case of him and watching Vale Tudo that I just love, I don't know if you watch the show, the soap opera, or if you read about this in the internet, but I think that not last week, but in the last weeks, there's a problem, not a problem. There's something that the show tried to make the public think about.
Okay.
There is the paternity license,
Paternity leave.
paternity leave. Okay.
Mhm.
And I think that this is a good point to start, and I just said that in the in another, enfim, há pouco tempo.
Okay.
But I think that's the problem. I think that women don't want to in Brazil, but not just in Brazil, but especially in Brazil, women don't want to just leave the career. And I was reading about and watching something in the Instagram, and uh, I heard that women that get pregnant and then have children and whatever, after 4 years, they can came back to their careers. So it's a lot of time, 4 years, I think. And I think that we have. Agora tu vai ter que me ajudar. Ele precisa ter leis.
Laws.
Laws, just laws? Okay. We have to we have to have laws and the fiscalization and something that can really make the the fathers don't have the option to abort their children, because the mothers don't abort in Brazil, but the fathers do. So
All right.
vou deixar esse lacre. E é isso. Vamos começar sobre. I don't know how to say lacre in English. It's like, okay. Thanks.
Great. Luana, hello, good afternoon. As
Hi, everyone.
as you came now, we are talking about Brazil's fertility rate. Like there is a decrease coming in it, and we are discussing the reasons here in Brazil, other countries too, and why we should have more children or why we should not have more children, and so on. Luana, so question to you. Let's think about the government saying, "Hey, Luana, what do you want me to help you to have a child?" What would you say? How can the government help you now? The government wants you a child this year, for example, okay? Just hypothetically. What would you say to the government? Give me money.
Yes, giving money is a good option. And I think that the government, as Luis said, could help the mothers and help me as a mother in hypothetical situation. with the guarantee that the father and the partner could really help me, you know, and give me the chance to live my life not like a mother, but as a woman, you know, that we can give me the opportunity to being at work and doing my stuff, study, and not just being a mother, because I always think that when a women's turn mothers, they just leave behind their lives, you know. They are not anymore a woman. They are just a mother. And for me, this is complication, and it is violent, you know, because I'm for society. I'm just now a mother, and I'm just my functionally in society is provide and take care of another human, you know. And I think that the government could help me to live my life not just as a mother, but as a woman too, you know, and to guarantee that I could be me, you know. I think that's it.
That's it. That's nice. So that's what we were covering. We were saying that daycare significa creches, tá? Would be so much worth valuable here in all the cities. We should have public daycare so we could leave the children there and go to work, and then they have like, if let's suppose that okay, the kid in the morning goes to school and then have lunch, and in the afternoon they would have daycare. So it would be great with like morning and afternoon, and then at night they could be at home. Of course, it's not that simple, not for both us and the government is not so simple, but that would be the idealistic thing for us to have children. And sometimes this generation doesn't want to, and that's okay.
Yes.
To accept, right? We want just to be, I feel like we want to, in my personal case, for example, I feel like my youth, minha juventude, my youth, is not over. I have to live more things before being a father. I have to go some places. So I have this in mind too. So that's it.
Teacher, I can bring some points about this that we're talking about. That I see that in our society right now, the take care of a child is like individual thing, you know. But in the past, take care of of children is like a community thing, you know. And this mindset that we our society think right now is so prejudiced to the mothers, to the women, you know, because it's not like individual. We say in the same point fathers or mothers. We say just mother, you know. And I think this is responsibility uh, of society, of the state, you know, the country, the government, the family, like my friends, like my family, like my mother and my father, you know. It
Mm-hmm.
is a responsibility that all community, you know, not just my responsibility.
Mm-hmm. And I have a specific question for the women here because Claire was mentioning that she wanted to be a mother too, but she also is getting older, like biologically, but she has her works and studies to do. Um, and the question is, Claire, do you think uh, you be you have to like finish the studies and to have a job before being a mother, or in your opinion is not a obligation to finish everything and then becoming a mother? What do you think? How do you balance
Mm.
these
I
things?
think not as a obligation, but I think it's better for me after my studies get a job because I have a stability to raising a child. So
Mm-hmm.
I prefer wait and
Mm-hmm.
for the moment and
Mm-hmm.
have a balance too in my personal life and to be a mother, like Luana said.
Mm-hmm.
And so many questions is difficult to think about this, and I don't have a partner for this yet. So
Mm-hmm. Important. The partner,
I think
the father.
not opinion, so just my opinion. Have a
Mm-hmm.
partner too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it not my responsibility
Mm-hmm.
only. I
Mm-hmm.
think another people think about this too.
That's nice. Uh-huh. I mean, um, in your case, Claire, you are a postgraduate student, and you basically live with the salary of your researches, right?
Yeah.
Um, the question is, do you think being a government student or a government postgraduated would be a good time, or do you think you will wait until you have just a regular job?
Let me see, understand. You could repeat it,
Like
please?
because you do researches as a, let's say you get the postdoc, let's imagine. And then, do you think being a postdoc student would be enough, like if you had a partner to raise your child, or would be just better when you get the job itself?
Yeah, I think it is enough for a moment. Is temporary for,
Mm-hmm.
as for example, 2 years, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
The government give a chance for prolong this for 1 year if you have a child.
Okay.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
good. It's changed for uh, I think last years. So we have laws to be a mother, like we can curriculum. How can I say curriculum? Um,
Resume.
yeah, resume. You can have this opportunity. This time, 6 months, I have a child, so I give money for this time, so it's okay. But I think for think a long time for
Mm-hmm.
it's
Thinking.
better wait. But
Okay.
it's happened. It's okay. But
Mm-hmm.
because it don't a responsibilities mine only. I have a partner,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I wait. The father provide resources for my child too.
Very good. Nice point. That's right. Um, Okay, Beatriz, question to you. Beatriz, how many sisters do you have or brothers?
I just have one little brother.
It's just a little brother. Okay. Beatriz, in this scenario, the ideal thing is to finish your studies, to have a job, and to have a child, maybe. But before everything, the question to you is, do you want to be a mother?
It's a hard question, teacher, because right now it's so difficult to answer. Right now, I think I don't want to be a mother because I have, like Maria said, I have my dreams. I want to study, I want to travel a lot. I want to have the money to enjoy myself and enjoy my life. And then I'm gonna think about child and be a mother, but I think it's going to be too late. But has adoption too. So, and I think my body too, the body changes. It's also something to think about it. But the principal point is my dreams, my plans, the future perspective. And I don't see a child in this
In this moment,
future.
of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe a dog, maybe,
a dog, maybe a bird.
yeah, a
Right.
cocktail.
I remember I having this pressure from my mother to give her a grandchild, even though she already had two. And I always said, not now, mom. You will not have this from me. But Luana, do you have pressures from your parents to have children too?
No,
No.
my mom is like, uh, she always say to me, raising kids is so difficult, and
Oh,
thinking so a
nice.
lot about because it's difficult. She raising three kids and another one of the other person, and for her was a delicate situation, delicate experience, and she always say to me and to my sisters that we think about a lot, and being prepared mentally too. And for me is two, you know.
Nice, nice. So do you have two siblings?
Yeah, I have two siblings,
Mm-hmm.
two two women. We
Mm-hmm.
are three women, four women in the house, and uh, my first one, my how can I say, my oldest sister, she has a kid, and my how can I say, mais novo, irmão mais
Young,
novo,
youngest
my
brother.
youngest my youngest sister, she don't have, and but she think about it. But for me, in my situation right now, I think similar that Beatriz, because I have so much to active, you know, and I I'm just want to be prepared to the situation or not, you know.
That's nice. It's important from your mother to have this kind of knowledge and awareness, because my mother was like, so simple life. Oh my God, everything comes easy. So yeah, and for her it's that. Um, from you, Maria, have you heard your parents talking about children?
Yes, my mom talked about this. But I have two sisters, so
Uh-huh.
let me, okay. And my younger sister wants to be a mother, as she was
Mm-hmm.
trying, but she have
Mm-hmm.
a problem of fertility, but she's trying. I hope
Your
yeah,
your your younger sister?
yeah,
Okay.
she younger.
As
Two,
you
two,
two children?
no. She 22 years. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. What is her name? Is Ju?
another sister
Okay.
that
Oh,
you
is
don't
another
know.
one. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know this one. Okay. All right. Great, guys. That's nice. Let me see here the next question. Um, okay. Other thing I have to bring here is the relation between education in general and more children. So if you get the uneducated women, probably they will have more children than you guys, for example, that already have a graduation and etc. And I would like to bring this here to discuss. Luis, in your opinion, why do you think poor families in general have more children than the ones that goes to stud and have better financial conditions?
I not read a lot about this.
Mm-hmm.
So now, so again, I will think about my context.
Okay.
My grandma, my grandfathers, grandfathers, acho que é, todos eles, né?
Grandparents.
Grandparents. My grandparents, they are not, they don't go to school, so they are from the rural area, and they just work, not just work, but they work harder.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in that time, there's not daren't daren't
There
daren't
is there isn't.
there isn't, thank you, there isn't a lot of contraceptions methods. So I think that's it. It's a big context, no? It's a context that involve a lot of things. So they need to work harder. They need um, um, they need people to help them. So even if it's sad think this way, but we know that having more children and have more kids, they could help them in their work. So I think that I think this is a point to think about and maybe contribute
Contribute. Uh-huh.
contribute in this problematic. And now we have more contraceptions methods, and we have and in the system education we uh, became prepared to know what is the risks of being pregnant early.
Mm-hmm.
And but I need to tell you something. How can I say fofoca in English?
Gossip.
Gossip.
Gossip. My God, I just live watching Gossip Girl and just okay. Let me tell you a gossip. I have a student. I don't could tell this to anyone because I want to
Okay.
be ethic. So you don't live here, you don't live in my city, so that's okay. I have a student. She is like 17 years old, and she just came to my classes and we talk and we okay. She are just leaving, and last week she just came pregnant. Not pregnant. She have a child.
She already had the child.
Already have a child.
Oh my God.
Just have, and no one know about this. Like no one, just she and the father. That is her boyfriend. And it's like the gossip of the city in this week. It's kinda funny, but it's funny now because she's okay and the baby's okay, so we can laugh. But it was like blow minding because no one knows, and even her friends knows. But sometimes people just, oh, you are more fat. Eu falo assim,
Better.
you're more you're fatter, so are something happen, and she just no, it's not, okay. I'm just getting fatter. I'm just eating more. I don't know what she was talking about.
Yes.
And it was, and I was thinking, like, because to me it was more common in like 10 years ago, not now. And I heard this
Gravidez na
week,
adolescência.
yeah, yeah, and this week I heard that this year there's a lot of pregnant in the school that she studied. In my city, that there's just two schools that have high school. So in the city, not the rural area. So it just blew my mind because I was thinking that everyone just know about sex and the risks about sex. But I know that using condoms could not be the more effective way to contracept. And I know too that young people don't like to use condom, especially the heterosexual couples. So we have a problem. That could be a big problem, and that maybe that's the solution of the problem that we are talking about. But about ISTs and ISTs, it's a problem. So that's it.
Okay, that's all right. Nice.
Eu nem
Nice.
sei qual foi a pergunta que tu me fez, eu não lembro. Eu só saí falando e veio a fofoca aí.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I forgot about the question too. Okay, one correction, little corrections here and little vocabularies I have to bring. Gravidez na adolescência, como é que a gente fala?
Teen pregnancy?
Teenage pregnancy.
Teenage pregnancy.
Geralmente, casais heterossexuais, a gente fala straight, ou straight couples, ok? Quando a gente vai falar que alguma coisa é assim, mind-blowing, o mind veio primeiro. Mind-blowing, tá? Porque você falou blowing mind, você pode dizer it's my mind, ok? But it's mind-blowing. Okay. And then we have contraceptive methods. We have the contraceptive pills and so on. Great.
I just remember the question.
Tell me.
You asked me about why people that don't have a great level of education don't have a lot of children, and
Yeah.
I will not answer that. I just
Okay,
talk and we are
and that's it.
talking and that's it.
And I also remember about this topic that usually previous generations, like the father of my father, my grandfather, you really used their children's labor force to have money. Like all the salary my father had at the time, he said that it was all for my grandfather. He didn't have like money because everything was for my grandfather. So it's it's sometimes like ingrained, it's still ingrained in some poor families, yet the children's of the money is the children's money is still comes to the parents. I don't hope it's so common now, but it is a thing that might happen yet, and the children is helping their parents. And in like favelas or other poor poor families, we know that the child goes to the street to sell candles, jujubas, and stuff to help the mother. It's unfortunately a reality nowadays. Right. Let me continue here with our topics. I think we have covered many of these. But as this conversation, the decline of fertility rate in Brazil, it's somehow connected to the rombo no INSS, não, rombo não, no INSS, but o declínio do INSS, we have to talk about this too. Because of fewer and fewer children are being born, and the life expectancy of people are getting higher, we will have some difficult time to retire, and everything about this is true. Luana, I want to ask, if you already think about this situation, about being retired in the future, if you already worry about the economic situation in Brazil, about in this case of fertility rate and decline, but I would like to know your opinion.
Teacher.
No, teacher, I don't think in retiring because I don't have a work yet.
I don't know if I even been able to be,
Yes,
how can I
alive.
say, yes, alive and and aposentada. How can I say aposentada in English?
Ok, vou escrever aqui. Retired.
Retired.
Yet,
Imagine thinking about the INSS, I don't thinking about it.
yes, we are too young to know to think about this. Let's not think, Jefferson, about being retired now.
No, I think that I have to be how can I say it, worried about this because I want to be retired, but the
Okay.
situation of working in Brazil is so difficult that
Uh-huh.
I don't think oh my God, the economic things that is crossed the INSS and the fertility in Brazil. You know, I don't think
Yes,
about
yes,
it.
yes, yes. This is true.
Sorry.
That's right. First we have to have before we have the INSS reform, we have to have the taxes reform that is happening now, right? To get more money from rich people than all the poor people, which is like
Yeah.
ideal thing to happen in this context. Great. So coming out from this topic, let's just talk about your daily lives now. Luis, tell me something that has happened this week to you besides this gossip. What is happening in Custódia? Did Custódia had São João?
Custódia don't have São João. Custódia just have São Pedro. Exclusively São Pedro, because São Pedro is the godfather
Mm-hmm.
of a community in the neighbor é vizinhança, né?
Yeah, in a district, you can say.
In a district
Mm-hmm.
that we call Vila da Coab. I
Village.
think that in every little city in the interior we have a district called Coab.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the history about this. Coab, I think that is about that is something like cohabitation,
Okay.
something like this. And that was a party in the 29 July, June 29.
Okay.
But I don't know a lot about this. When I participate in the things of the Catholic Church,
Uh-huh.
I remember like it was like 84 years ago.
Oh
But
my
I
God.
remember that I remember something like this, that we prepare. It's a traditional thing, of course. So we prepare something in the church, and and all the community
Mm-hmm.
contribute with this,
Mm-hmm.
with something. And then like in the 10 or 11 o'clock, the secular party starts, so there's a missa.
Mm-hmm.
Não me pergunte como é missa, eu não
It's a
sei.
mess.
There's a
Mess.
como?
Mess. One.
Mass, and
Mess.
then the party with a band, with a forró band,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
That's nice. Okay.
And
Beatriz, did you
in Salobro, what we
Oh,
have.
no, Saloro didn't have anything. We have a village next to Saloro called Socorro, and there is a palhoça and a live band is so excited there. I didn't go, but in Salobro it didn't have anything special. I'm sorry. Luana, did you go to Sítio Trindade or you don't really like São João?
I like it, São João, and in the São Pedro parties, I was in the interior too, because my mother family is living in the Surubim. I don't know if you
Mhm.
know. It's it's a It's a city that's closer to the division of Paraíba and Pernambuco.
Okay.
And I was visiting my Mimo had
Oh.
I was saved in the
In the group.
WhatsApp, and I I go to a party too, Calcinha Preta. I see Calcinha Preta, and it was
Nice.
amazing. They are incredible. And I in the São Pedro days, we do fogueira. I don't know what fire.
Bonfire.
How
Bon-
bonfire?
bonfire.
We did in a bonfire, and we eat stuffs with milho, corn. How can I say
Corn.
milho?
Corn.
Corn. And was amazing. We ride in a we ride a horse, and I'm being just a diva of inferior, and it was amazing. I like São João too.
Nice, very nice. Clea, in São Pedro, you stayed in your father's farm?
Yes. São Pedro,
Yes.
I stayed here.
Uh,
Did
I,
a bonfire.
I saw one story of you. It was very interesting. It was some kind of guys masked coming to visit. It was like a traditional thing in your land.
Ah, ah, Semana Santa
Ah, foi na
was,
Semana Santa isso. Foi?
yeah.
What was this? What is this about? What kind of tradition is this?
The children's have a
Mask. Masks.
masks. So, and walking the road and of houses ask for something, money or food.
Okay, it seems like a trick or treat of the Halloween, right? But
Similar.
it's similar. Okay, that's interesting. Nice. But is there a story about behind?
Yeah, I think because Judas, something
Uh,
like this. I don't know,
uh,
explain very well, but this.
okay, about Judas, something. If you don't give me treats, Judas will come to your house. Maybe. All right. Beatriz, I have already talked about her in her São João in Paulo Afonso. Is there still some parties going happening in Maceió, Beatriz? No,
No,
not
it's
anymore.
finished.
Just finished everything. Very good. Okay, guys, let me work now with vocabulary. First, I have to review the vocabulary of last class. So let's start. Okay. Undergrad, graduate, you guys already are aware about this. Worried and preoccupied, ok. But wrinkle. Quem lembra o que seria wrinkle?
Ruga.
Boa, Beatriz. All right. Summarize and synthesize or sum up are words that refers to, in Portuguese, we can say,
Resumir.
Resumir.
yes. Ok. Agora eu vou cobrir aqui alguns. Alright. Como é que a gente diz pedir demissão? A gente
I
viu.
quit or
Resign?
I quit my job or resign. Perfeito. Essas duas palavras aqui, né? Resign é uma coisa mais formal e quit is correct. Como é que eu digo eu me senti culpado?
I felt guilty.
I felt guilty, I was feeling guilty. Uhum. Geralmente em English we have guilt como culpa, guilt como culpado, mas quando a gente quer colocar a culpa em alguém, eu tô botando a culpa em alguma pessoa, ela colocou a culpa em mim. Aí a gente usa outra palavra,
blame.
blame. Uhum. Tem a música de Akon lá, né? So you can put that blame on me. Blame on me. Great. Let me see here. Pauta, a gente viu, né, que agenda, when we want to bring about this. What is postpone, Luana? Explain in English.
I don't know, teacher.
Don't know.
Postpone. I don't
Okay.
know.
Ela
Maria,
não tava acho que foi a última aula.
okay. Uhum. Maria, do you know, remember what's postpone?
I think is, let's say, something for after.
Yes, that's it. To do the things in a later moment. So, for example, I have to postpone this class, guys, because I'm feeling, okay, postpone. All right, coming up to today's vocabulary, we have some specific ones. Indigenous people, it was in the beginning of the class, we were talking to Beatriz. Greve, a gente fala de greve dos professores, tá? Greve de fome, strike. Tiring, foi cansativa a semana, tiring com ing. Utopic is a English word too. Paternity leave and maternity leave são as licenças.
Licença.
Exato, tá? Embora a palavra em si, licença, em inglês seja license, nesses casos de trabalho de maternidade, de paternidade, é leave mesmo. E aí, Luiz tentou expressar fiscalizar. Geralmente a gente pode usar o supervise. Brother-in-law, cunhado, tá? Contraceptive methods, gossips, mind-blowing, teenage pregnancy, straight mess, agora de missa, e bonfire de fogueira. Great. Luana, what are the plans for this weekend?
This weekend I have a São João party at my condominium.
Nice. Okay.
I can say neighborhood.
We have a name for condominium. Generally, we call it a condominium. I just need to know the pronunciation. Let me put here in the the Cambridge Dictionary.
Condominium.
Condominium.
Condominium. Oh,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
really
really.
seamless, you know.
Mhm.
Okay, I have the São João party at my condominium,
Mhm.
and in the Sunday I go to pagode with my father.
Nice.
He is so party a person party, you know. and that's it. And I try to study a little bit, and that's it.
Very nice. Just talking about condominium, we have condo also. In condo, there is Bruno Mars song with condo. I want to know. I think it's the lazy song. No, let me see. The lazy song, Bruno Mars. Just a second. No. Okay, but there is a Bruno Mars song where he says, I bought a condo in New York or somewhere nice. Condo is the abbreviation for condominium, not condom, comum, okay? Just condo. Okay, Maria Medeiros, plans for this weekend?
I think just organize some things at home and care about of me, my hair, my skin, and
The-
study. I think that's it. I stay at home this weekend.
Luis, what are your plans for this weekend?
I will sleep so hard this weekend that I think that I will just start like tomorrow and then hibernate. Someone has
There.
to just came to my door and talk and
Nice.
because I need sleep.
You need, right? You get often tired from your job.
Yeah, because my grandma is here and she's fine, she's good, but she's here and my sister is working on this week. She's working like from 11 o'clock to 7 a.m., you know? And then I'm going to my mother's house to sleep with my niece. And it's complicated because I have a problem to sleep early, so I just sleep like 1 a.m. and she just need to wake up 6 a.m. and I'm like this. I
Okay.
don't know if you're saying, but I'm like this. And that's work and a lot of things, and I just need to.
Okay. I will bring something, just a moment, guys, to show you. Let me come here.
I think it's a mask, like for
Yeah.
I
Okay,
relate you.
but I don't.
guys, something that is been helped me a lot, and it's natural.
Okay.
Iogurteira da epiderme, tá? Oh, I don't know if you guys can see. Let me take my background. Oh, it's not. É uma melatonina, tá? Normal, de
Uhum.
geral. Tem no, em gotas, tem em qualquer farmácia, não precisa de coisa. E
Perfeito.
só toma uma gota, só uma mesmo. Senão
Isso
fica.
funciona mesmo?
E funciona. Tá funcionando. Não sei se é psicológico, mas que seja, mas eu tomo 1 hora depois ou 2, eu já tô querendo dormir. E é muito bom, porque eu não preciso tomar outros mais fortes, ansiolíticos, não sei o quê. Então, comece a tomar. que aí, tipo, 9 horas você toma alguma gotinha e vê se funciona. Não toma muito, porque, como a mulher da farmácia me falou, se você tomar mais de uma gota, é tipo assim, você fica meio grog, dá uma ressaca, não sei o quê. Mas é bem interessante. Okay, and Beatriz, what are your plans for this weekend?
This weekend I need to clean up my apartment because it's a mess since I get here. And I have a lot to study for my research project, and my originator is driving me crazy. So I need to finish this one. And then I'm thinking, if I finish my research project, I'm thinking about rest a little bit. I wanted to go to the beach, but here in Maceió it's raining a lot, so maybe I just resting home or go to some cafeteria or I don't know. But that's the plans.
That's nice. I just read here you also take melatonin. Did you like it? Do you like it?
Yes, I
Yeah.
love it. Without her, I can't say. I think it's psychological too, but at first I was so anxious to take my melatonin that I didn't sleep. To take my melatonin to sleep, I was so anxious that made me a robot effect. But
Mhm.
now that I'm more accustomed about it, I love my melatonin. Without her, I can't do anything.
I went to the psychiatrist some long ago, and I was take some psychiatric medicine, and I was not liking. We have
Zolpidem.
Hmm?
Zolpidem.
No,
Have you take Zolpidem?
I forgot the name. But at first I was having some side effects, and I was getting fat. I
Oh my God.
5 kilos. So I stopped taking
Yeah.
it, and I changed it for natural thing, and
I think it's the corticoids,
God
something.
knows is helping. It is
Yeah.
helping.
I took some too.
I forgot the name. I still have the boxes because I didn't want to use everything. No, that's it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for this class today. We talked a lot. Let's prepare for our pictures. Please. Não sei se aí no Zoom de vocês aparece, mas tem um nome assim, ó, YouTube. Porque eu tô colocando no YouTube direto agora, tá? Nós estamos ao vivo, inclusive, nesse momento. Aí fica lá no canal da Soy. Luiz?
Fofoca do Luiz no YouTube.
Gente, me dá 2 segundos, peraí. I'm
Ok.
sneezing a lot today because I'm allergic to dust and
Uhum.
like Beatrice, I need to clean up everything here. And I have 2 cats and I'm allergic to cats. So
Oh my
it's
God.
a mess. But I'm here now.
All right, let's do it. In 3. Deixa eu mudar meu background. Agora. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend and see you next class.
See you, bye.